Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new material is coming out. Also, IG, Elephant Man _ podcast, Facebook / Elephant Man Podcast. What's going on, everybody? Shalom, shalom, shalom to everybody. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. It's been a week. It's been a week. It's been a lot of posts and he said, she said, and side taking with the whole thing with Chris Rock and Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and all that. You can't believe it's a week. I was talking to my wife. I was like, man, it seems like it's been like 2 weeks, but there's been that much information every day, all day about it. And I like to pump the brakes, and I wanted to wait a little bit more so I can get a little bit more information before we came out, and it's made any kind of comment on it. Again, I think it's a sad issue. I think it's a sad situation. Got these brothers up here, going back and forth with each other, on humiliating each other in front of the whole world. Some people take Chris' side, say, man, he was a stand-up guy. He got smacked in the face. Others take Will's side, say, yes, he stood up for his wife, this, that, and the other. But if you watch the video, it looked like he was smiling at first, and then all of a sudden he just went up there and smacked him. It's a lot of fishy stuff that's going on with it. We heard all of the speculations and things going on with it. Shout out to my sister-in-law, Shonda, and shout out to Shonda at large. Sister-in-law Shonda and the Shonda at large. That came up with some things that I'm going to share with you today. It's very, very interesting. I looked into it. Interesting. It's still all speculations right now. It doesn't matter, who did what, he said, she said, because at the end of the day, man, we look bad on the world stage as a people. But I'm going to show y'all this real quick. We seen the smack. But if you look at it, man, some people were saying, look how Chris in this first frame, he got his hands behind his back. It looked like he's leaning forward. It looked like his teeth is grit, so he can embrace himself for the smack. So that's a speculation that, that he embraced himself for the smack. You know what I mean? And then the reflex on any man, if somebody walking towards you, your hands go up, your head go back, something, but just if you look at that first picture, man, again, it's all speculation. I'm not, conspiracy theory, but I'm just like, it's very interesting. His hands behind his back, his head is forward, his teeth is grit, so he can take the hit. You know what I mean? He didn't hit back. He didn't swing. I think about all the times when those pitchers used to pitch and hit the the batter in Major League Baseball, and the batter will come down, drop his back, start heading towards the mound. The pitcher will be apprehensive because the batter is coming at him, right? So the pitcher will be apprehensive, and so it's kind of like they kind of step back, or they put their guards up, or they do something, but just to stand there, hands behind the back, it just don't seem natural. I don't know. It's still speculation. It's still a sad situation. We got memes about it. I also said that his show sold out. The tickets that was $34 and $35 is up to $340 for some of those tickets. So that's very, very, very interesting, man. But then it's other things that happened because of that. Just one young lady in Chicago area, she got bullied because of having alopecia, and we're gonna talk about that as well. But let's check this out, man.
After
it's very,
saving
very
with
sad.
customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual,
of course, they're gonna put a
customize
Liberty
everything.
Mutual commercial.
Like Marco's backpack.
That 13-year-old says what began the day after the Oscars as bullying over her hair loss escalated to physical violence, and now Chicago Heights police are investigating.
I was really uncomfortable because everyone on the bus knew that I had alopecia.
She asked not to appear on camera, this 7th grader at Rise Academy in Chicago Heights, who says she was leaving school Monday afternoon when her school van driver played that now infamous Oscars clip on her phone.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
They were calling me like G.I. Jane, and I didn't know who that was. They played the video a few more times, and it kind of made me uncomfortable.
That because she was never called G.I. Jane before. So once I found out what it stemmed from, I was very upset.
Kimberly Johnson and her daughter say 2 days later, things escalated on the bus.
The boy behind me, he had a rubber band, and he kept slapping against my neck, and I told him to stop.
She says another student then punched her in her forehead.
What was she going through in those moments when this was happening to her? Was she calling out for me? I'm sorry.
In a statement, the school administration said, "We are currently conducting a thorough investigation into this matter. The safety of our students is of paramount concern." As for mother and daughter, they don't condone Will Smith's actions. However,
the whole G.I. Jane thing, the whole taunting and bullying, that stemmed from what Chris Rock said.
That student says alopecia is no joking matter. Incidentally, her favorite subject in school is writing. And she says despite what happened at the Oscars, she hopes to one day work in Hollywood.
Hey, if you like that.
Yeah, so, you know, to whom much is given, much is required. And we have a lot of influence, man. And, you know, they knew what she had before that whole incident, but now they picking on her and bullying her. That's pretty sad. Praying for that baby, man. Very, very, very sad, man. It's just wild, man. But we're getting a lot of coverage over this alopecia on there. But we're gonna get to what I'm gonna just show one other video. Real quick. Well, two other videos, and then get your thoughts on it. Let's share this other video real quick. And I hope they don't hit me up because I'm sharing the videos that's on YouTube and other type places, and so you know, and they hit me up for a copyright thing. So check this out.
At the Oscars is shining a light on the hair loss condition that Jada Pinkett Smith revealed she's battling on her Facebook Watch series Red Table Talk.
I've been having issues with hair loss. And I'm gonna tell you, it was terrifying when it first started. You know, I was in the shower one day and then just handfuls of hair just in my hands. And I was just like, oh my God, am I going bald? Mm-hmm. It was one of those times in my life where I was literally shaking with fear.
Well, the actress's condition, alopecia areata, causes bald patches on the body, including the scalp, eyelashes, and eyebrows. It happens when immune cells attack your hair follicles. The autoimmune disorder can be caused by genetics and severe stress. Researchers have found that Black and Hispanic women have a significantly greater chance of developing alopecia areata than white men, or white women rather, and Harvard scientists say about a third of all women will suffer some form of hair loss in their lifetime.
I get further and further in by the time.
All right, so that's interesting, right? If that's saying Blacks and Hispanics suffer from it more. But this is another thing that's very interesting. Let's share something. Let's share my screen again. And for this finding, very, very interesting finding. I went to so the Oscars happened on Sunday the 27th. My birthday, March 28th, right? It was a report after the Oscars, and then from this, check this out real quick. Pfizer and biotech. Let me see if I got it. Pfizer and biotech go Hollywood with splashy Oscar sponsorship. So this is after the incident. Pfizer is one of the sponsors for the Oscars. It's very, very interesting. Let's see. Let's see it down here. The money said Pfizer will not share details on how much it spent on the Oscars, but according to Showbiz cheat sheet, last year the event brought in $115 million in advertising revenue, while a 30-second ad, Remarkable reported, went for somewhere between 1.7 to 2.2 million. We can only assume that the sponsor costs a lot more than an individual ad. The former paired shared Oscar screen time with the likes of Rolex, Verizon, Crypto.com, the first cryptocurrency company to advertise during the Oscars. So they advertising this crypto right now because this economy, the dollar is about to tank real soon, and so they're trying to get that going on. So I thought that was very interesting. Right now, let's go to the Pfizer site. Now this happened on the 29th, the day after that. This is the actual Pfizer site. What's going on with that? Pfizer site. Pfizer announces positive top-line results, year-long phase 3. I'm going to pronounce it right. Etrasimod. There we go. Etrasimod. I've been practicing it. Etrasimod. Okay, so let's go down here and let's read real quick. So I'm just talking about the 52-week studies and it's, the clinical trial, different things like that. But right here, etrasimod is an oral 1-a-day pill, right? So it's being investigated for a range of immunoinflammatory diseases, including ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, atopic dermatitis, esophagitis, and look, alopecia areata. I'm sorry, I'm chopping that word up. So Pfizer, again, it's all speculation, but it's just very interesting how we got the slap going on, and so if Jada Pinkett be the spokesperson for this Pfizer medication, then I'll know something. But it's a lot of this. It's all speculation right now. Fair use, like my people say, fair use. But I just think that's very interesting, man. That's very, very interesting how coincidental. It could be a coincidence. It could be a coincidence, man. It's just a lot of different things going on. And I'm praying for, some people really do got the alopecia, right? And so where's my paper to say what it is? Okay, alopecia is an autoimmune disorder that causes your hair to come out often in clumps, like Jada mentioned in the thing, come out in clumps inside the size of a quarter. The amount of hair loss is different in everyone. Some people lose only a few spots, others lose a lot. Sometimes hair grows back but falls out again. Okay, and so they have this. I was reading that about alopecia from the WebMD. So that's been talking about alopecia this, alopecia that, and you know what I mean, and the bullying and all these different things. So it's bringing a lot of attention to this alopecia all of a sudden when Pfizer is in phase 3 of their clinical studies. And I just find that pretty interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. Shout out to Robert Callahan. He was talking about it might have been a humiliation ritual. They used to have a humiliation ritual back in the day when they would smack each other in the face and different things like that. Speculation, could be that as well. We don't know that. But shout out to Pastor Kelly. He brought this out and brought this up as well. While we all making memes and making fun of Chris Rock and all that stuff, do you know that some of our Nigerian brothers and sisters that's trying to flee Ukraine, and some of them went into Poland, they are in detention camps or detention centers, right? So we need to wake up. While all this stuff we going on, we all into this world star hip hop and all of this drama going on with this and taking sides and Jada this and Will that and Chris that. Our people, they are cross seas in camps. So we need to wake up. Let's watch this from Pastor Kelly. We woke now.
That dozens of non-white Ukrainian residents who fled the conflict are now being held in long-term detention facilities in Poland and Estonia. Yeah, and some of them are being held 3 weeks or more. There's a new report released that found that dozens of non-white Ukrainian residents who fled the conflict are now being held in long-term detention facilities in Poland and Estonia. Yeah, and some of them are being held 3 weeks or more. Here's a picture of what those detention camps are looking like. They're not pretty at all. And that photo comes to us courtesy of a joint investigation conducted by Lighthouse Reports, Independent UK, and other journalism outlets. And the experiences in these camps, they're being documented and they are harrowing. What we know is that one of the students said that they were stopped by officials as they crossed the border and were given no choice but to sign a document they did not understand before they were then taken to the camp. They did not know how long they'd be held there. There's a 29-year-old black man from Nigeria who was studying in Ukraine before fleeing, and he said this. He says his phone was confiscated by Polish border guards and he was given no option but to sign a form he did not understand. It was written in Polish. I didn't know what I was signing. I said I wouldn't sign, but they insisted I sign it and that if not, I would go to jail for 5 months. The student said he was then taken to court where there was no interpreter to translate what was being said so that he could understand, and then taken to a detention center in a small village in what I believe is Lesnalio. Now, there's another student as well who described their ordeal right now, and they described that to an activist. He had said, my mental health, I'm just scared. We escaped Ukraine. It was very, very horrible experience. And you know, it's the most biggest risk of my life. Now we are under detention. At the beginning, I thought I was being kidnapped.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine has prompted an exodus of nearly 4 million people and an outpouring of support from many of the refugees. But a new report finds some of the non-white people who fled Ukraine are being held in detention centers in Poland and Estonia. An investigation by Lighthouse Reports with The Independent, Der Spiegel, Radio France, and others documented how some African students who crossed the border to escape the war and were detained in a long-term holding facility outside Warsaw. One of the students described his ordeal to an activist. The sound is bad, so listen very carefully.
My mental health, I'm just scared. We escaped Ukraine. It's very, very horrible experience, and it's the most biggest risk of my life. Now we are under detention. At the beginning, I thought I was kidnapped.
The detained student says, my mental health, I'm just scared. We escaped Ukraine. It was very, very horrible experience. It was the worst week of my life. Now we're under detention. At the beginning, I thought I was kidnapped, he said. This is the brother of another student who says he was detained when he fled from Ukraine to Poland.
He stayed at the border for close to 3 days. And the last day that he left the border, he had issues with the Ukrainian police that were forcing them to go back into Ukraine to fight. But I think as a student, he couldn't stay back because he's not a Ukrainian and he doesn't know anything about the country. So he decided, after the confrontation, the harassment from the Ukrainian police, he ran and ran and ran. They took away his bag with his laptop, with everything, but he succeeded to get into Poland. So when he got into Poland, he immediately reported himself to the police. I was pretty sure that after signing this paper, he will be given some freedom, but limited freedom within Poland. But when he finished signing the paper, the next information we got was that they were taking them into a camp.
Polish border police confirmed some 52 Ukrainians who fled to Poland, quote, were admitted to guarded centers for foreigners, unquote. The International Organization for Migration, the IOM, says non-Ukrainians who have fled the war are being detained in at least 3 facilities in Poland.
This really shakes me to the.
Telling y'all, man, it gets very, very interesting. You got to wake up, man. We praying for those over there in Ukraine and in Poland. And we can't have that selective empathy, man. Giving somebody the best treatment, and some of them are flown over here. Some of the Ukrainian refugees are flown over here and getting admitted into Hampton University, and just the best treatment. Roll out the red carpet. And then some going to detention camp. those folk are terrified for their lives too. They want to go home to their families as well, you know. And so just go in there and, you know, let them get back to where they need to get back to. Why would you detain somebody? It just tell you the spirit of racism, and you know, you'll think that in the midst of all of the different trauma and the pictures that we see on our news, see, we only seeing one side with our news, right? Our CNN and our Fox, we seeing only one side. We only hearing one side, but we don't really see a lot of that stuff in the background, you know. And so we praying for them, and they were saying some of them got shot at, and yeah, man, it gets real wild. While we talking about the slap heard around the world, you know, we got folk getting shot at and put in the detention centers and stuff like that. And so it's not conspiracy theory. The people, you heard it from the horse's mouth, you heard it from the straight phone recording. So we definitely got to pray for the people, man. But it tells us a lot about the enemy and this world system, and it's not to scare you, but it's to prepare you, and it's prepare you mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, Hasatan knows that his time is short, and so he's doing a lot of crazy things. But I told you guys before, ever since 2020, a lot of stuff is going to be exposed more rapidly, because 2020 got to do with vision, 2020 vision, right? And now we're in 2022. It's not going to be a lot of sleight of hand. It's not going to be a lot of hidden things. A lot of that stuff going to be exposed immediately. So we got to be smart, man. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. So, yeah, that's what we got to do. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversations dealing with elephants in the room. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, share the channel with others, and then join us on Facebook as well. Elephant Man / Elephant Man Podcast. So we about to get up out of here. I'm going to close out a little bit of prayer. Father, in the name of Yahushua, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. We thank you for the discernment, Father, and we thank you for all the many blessings you bestowed upon us, Abba Yah, and we ask you to just show us, lead us and guide us into all truth. Let us be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Abba Yah, you said, love not this world system, nor the things in this world system, but love you with all our mind, will, and emotions. Yeah, Abba Yah, as soon as we can love you, then we can love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Abba Yah, we don't want no Stockholm syndrome. Abba Yah, we don't want to have these different cognitive dissidents and denying and different things like that. Abba Yah, we bind the spirit of religion. Abba Yah, in the name of Yahushua. Abba Yah, let your truth come out. Let the followers of the way, let the Quote of Shem come to the forefront, even as we speak right now. And we thank you. In Yahushua HaMashiach's name we pray, amen. So, Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversations, dealing with elephants in the room. We'll holler at you guys. I am out. Perfect.